This is the stunning and beautiful Schloss Roxburgh. On an estate built in the 12th century, the castle itself built in the 1700s. But no, I'm not in Germany. I'm actually in Scotland, about an hour and a bit outside of Edinburgh. And I'm not here for a German car either. There's no connection with that. I'm actually here for a Japanese car. This, the new third generation of the Mazda CX-5, a car which Jeremy Thompson, the MD of Mazda UK, describes as the cornerstone of the Mazda range for the past 14 years. Of course, a lot has changed. When the first generation came along, SUVs accounted for only 3% of Mazda UK sales. Now, they're over 70%. This new one, with pricing that comes in below the outgoing model, is all about stylish design, that Kodo design philosophy, and intelligent engineering. There's a new 2.5 litre mild hybrid engine, which we'll get to in a bit, and a whole load of changes to the interior, to materials, all sorts of things. But the question is, can it continue the success of the CX-5, which is Mazda's biggest selling model worldwide, while faced with an onslaught of rivals in the sub-premium category, from the Chinese models, Jaecoo, Omoda, and all the rest of it, not to mention a new wave of models from companies like Kia, Hyundai, Volvo, and so forth. Let's have a closer look and see. Oh, but first, here's something interesting, because what's gone in here isn't E5 or E10 unleaded fuel from a regular pump. This sustainable fuel, which is an interesting development, all in the interests of course, achieving carbon neutrality. Is it the future? We'll have to wait and see. Let's get back to the CX-5. Usually I'll start in the entry-level version and work my way up. But today I've started in the Homura, which is the top spec. It's the one that can almost take on the German rivals, Audi, BMW, Mercedes, in terms of that feeling of luxury, and combined, of course, with Mazda's focus on driving dynamics and engagement. But something's changed. Because yes, inside this beautiful red CX-5 is a nice tan upholstery. But listen. And where you think this is nice soft leather, nope, that's hard plastic. That's hard plastic. It's all hard plastic. It's all fake. Now, there was a time you could get away with that, but now the Chinese are here, and the CX-5 suddenly has to compete with Jaecoo, Omoda, Chery, BYD, all of them producing cars which have not just perceived luxury, but actual luxury and premiumness with real materials. What's going on, Mazda? And where have all the buttons gone? While others like Volkswagen are putting the buttons and dials back, Mazda's taken them all out and put everything in a touchscreen. Now, what it certainly appears to be is that Mazda has, how should I put it, downgraded the CX-5? No, surely that can't be right. The CX-5 is its biggest selling model worldwide. But yes, it looks as though that's exactly what they've done. Partly because the CX-60 and the CX-80 topped the lineup in terms of luxury. So Mazda's saying, well, if you want the luxury, then you have to upsell into these slightly more premium, more luxurious models. What at the same time it does is offer a price point with affordability checkboxes and things like that for those who still want that good Mazda driving dynamics, Japanese design flair at a reasonable price. A price that competes with the Kia Sportage, the Hyundai Tucson, the other premium-ish, sub-premium, we used to call them, models from the likes of Volvo, and the Chinese. But there again is that issue. The Chinese are coming in at potentially a lower price point, but certainly let's say a price point that matches this with the level of luxury that Mazda has chosen to take out. On the matter of the performance,
eSkyActiv G 2.5 litre petrol motor and the lovely burble from the exhaust sounds promising.
Don't let that nice burble fool you. It makes lots of noise. It doesn't actually go that fast. Now, there are times when that's a good thing, right? The accelerator, it's just, no, it's disconnected. It doesn't, it doesn't feel like you're properly engaged with it anymore. There's 141 horsepower and about 238 newton meters of torque. On paper, that doesn't seem amazing. And actually, for a 2.5 litre petrol engine, it isn't. In America, they have over 180 horsepower in that engine. But for Europe, we have to be more mindful of emissions and things like that. So we get less power. You can make the most of it, not in sport mode, surprisingly, but leave it in normal mode, switch the gear stick across to manual, and play with the paddle shifts. Then you can control how much that engine is going to scream. You can control how much power and torque you have in the corners, and make the most of that thing that Mazda has always been renowned for, and that is great engineering and driving dynamics. Yes, the engine might feel a little underwhelming at times, but you can still, particularly on these lovely Scottish B roads, have a bit of fun. Scotland, isn't it pretty?
Welcome to Scottish Borders.
The combination of the majesty of Scottish mountains and some lovely driving roads.
Sheep standoff. Oh, stay there, little lamb.
There you have it, the latest generation of the Mazda CX-5. A fantastic evolution of Mazda's Kodo design. Joe Stenuit and the rest of the designers putting in lots of effort to make sure it looks really good, and it does on the outside. There are question marks, of course, about the perception of quality and materials inside the car, many of which it's almost like it was handed over to the accountants, and the product planners have got it slightly wrong there. But is it a risk to Mazda's biggest selling model worldwide? Perhaps. But does everybody care in the same way that I do? Maybe not. The biggest problem is that snapping at Mazda's heels are so many of the Chinese brands. So can the CX-5 still hold its own? Well, yes and no. Dynamically brilliant. Well done, Mazda engineers. You've done a fantastic job. The engine, yeah, could be a bit better, but in the right circumstances, even for an enthusiastic driver, it's great fun. Let's just hope that what is a great looking SUV can continue to bring the success that Mazda has enjoyed for the CX-5 so far.